Anambra State, represented here by my friend and brother, Lord Mefo, the chairman, Ochendo. I salute you, sir. This year in all the escorts and leaders of our sport. Nandini Nesong Webia, Biko Udodelona Jesus. A lot of Nde Bai Mande Umunai somewhere here. I won't mention all the names because I believe. And I want to particularly recognize Barrister Data Amakri from Rivers State. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. I'm using you as a point of contact to reach all the other people somewhere there. I get Jesse Nubi Onye Icon. Lord, should I address you as a governor or as a commissioner? Like a hand was an implication. Maybe outgoing governor while the incoming governor is speaking. Because I'm of Namido on the Renato. I'm really here for serious business. I'm particularly delighted, now to go with the Obakawadi. This gathering bowl, I need the Lina everywhere I know. Etwalo, Makodema, Ndibu, Amodema, the Anambra. I'm not even sure how best to address this gathering because in Walibu Erika, time is short. So all I'm going to do is introduce the conversation. All I basically and one was the specifics. I'm more than happy to respond to any issues. And actually, and in your program will you book today. For a moment, can I ignore? No one will only represent governor. Because I don't paint words. I say it as it is. Coleman, because before you leave, make sure you write your name. Nambu, I consider it a great honor and privilege in an editorial. Last meeting, I was also invited. Amambo, Tabo, Okeke, Nachiko Manbalo, Manadabara. So I'm so happy now, finally, I know where this is. This gathering, why is special? But because Abuja, or any other place, is the capital of Nigeria. Ndi Neba have immense capacity. Sometimes I am a Upon and at this hall, decide here, a direction Anambra Costalega, Eba Hakanabra, all Namaro. And therefore, upon Anambra Naga in the wrong direction, we can also hold you accountable. Up here? You see, Open Igbo and Anambra not here. I have a very simple question. Are you happy to Anambra today? Who said no weekend? I don't want to say let's be hatching one now. We're not even here to talk about just the slide I know, the issues I deal with. You check here now the message of the invitation. People will know not just the state of Anambra, but also the state of the Southeast. The reason I go on into politics, all because of my rejection of the status quo. Now, it's another day at the wrong. And actually now, I get one improvement, it gets worse. And each check here, I should go back to now say, when will the story of a black man change in this world? Where is it going to start from? How will it happen? These are premeditated, out of deep introspection. Now, can you hear me on one in this surgery? If you name the rest of the world, if you want to name me, if cancer me, and not the can name me yourself of woman, particularly, I refer to the Israelites. A small community, maybe 0.1% of the world population, but 32% of Nobel Peace winners, but how? Inventions need technology everywhere, how? I suppose in our job, what do we do to catch up with the rest of the world? That's not the conversation today. And you can go a bonde model, a policy, and more. This is conversation. And the youth say, Sieba, call to Sieba. That's the discussion I'm brought today. Olo Afuro. Why can't we produce a Mark Zuckerberg? Why can't we make ourselves proud? If you say this question, a few things come to mind. One, but the burden of leadership. We haven't been able to, honestly, particularly in recent times, get this right. Both at the national and subnational. And well, even not today, clearly, I am not proud of what Nigeria has become and is becoming. And I say, what are they doing? Okay, whatever else they're doing, the beginning of it, we go to the rule of law. Consequences. The only time I'm going to consequence, but I'm going to some young people, the underage, protest and may arrest. Whereas the criminals are roaming around of all sorts. And we all know what I'm talking about. If you bring this down to the Southeast, you talk about it to other injury to it, okay, Nigeria, let's do something and fix home. Unfortunately, you check here, you're not totally proud. Thank God for the likes of Governor Alex Oti, Gosigolo, that through proper leadership, the Abia can be proud of themselves again. And Evangelo, where we received Alex Oti. Anambra hostel in Lagos. About that day, Abia pick a microphone and Google to probably not the proud Ibo Abia. Anambra, are you proud to be Anambra today? Or you can get to the guy on here. Open no about some leadership, I'm sorry, it is unfortunate. And the truth must be told. Getting the issue of political leadership is one, citizenship is also another. When actually they see the thing, all from leadership, citizenship. A lot of times we exhibit a lot of vices at the how do we eschew selfishness, just our own interest. Just like the Greeks described, and were three categories of human being. The first category is selfish, just about themselves, at the detriment of any other. The second, those they consider tribal. It must be ndo tuai. The third category for the citizens, the people who want fairness, civility, equity, justice, live and let live. Most times, can I say take decision now, Bokale, and that hurts us deeply without knowing it. I needed able those citizens that first would make a decision, a proper decision in electing leaders who have the right character, competence, capacity. Then in turn, hold those people accountable. And where those checks and balances, not docility. So hopefully today, they know in this room, I know in the first category, I know in the second category, I'm in the third category, which is proper citizens, enlightened self-interest. Yes, protect your interest, but not at the detriment of the other person. And the only way we can demonstrate that, particularly when it comes to issue of political leadership, in our how do we make sure the right person gets into office? Not because only one name is related to me, or philanthropists, and all of those things. And the third part, beyond leadership, citizenship, a third part, not much to do with both. I call it culture. A culture of continuous improvement, basically challenging the status quo. There is always a better way. How do we challenge ourselves all the time? All spheres, personal lives, collective lives, societal lives. And when women are now relevant, and with a better way of improving on it. That's what the Japanese leveraged deeply in transforming their society. They call it Kaizen principle. If well, understand, your businesses, or even your personal lives, if we are even to your children, pick your child. Joya, how did they spend yesterday? Yeah, Joya Juju. Get the kids to spend yesterday. That 24 hours, break it down for me. How did you spend your last 24 hours? How many hours sleeping? How many hours social media? How many hours playing and gossiping? How many hours actually productive? How many hours even praying to God? If you consciously move just 1 hour from the non-productive to the productive and do so consistently, you will see the magic that this will bring to your life. You will hear tears here, even a meeting I know today. Can you say a meeting will be now 5 p.m. Now kita call the meeting. How many minutes or hours can I spend before a video meeting? How many hours can I do to advocacy? I watch you. And then how many hours or minutes can I spend on productive conversation? If you can monitor these things, measure these things, name moves here, that's how Etokites were able plane. Continuous improvement. When I buy, we do the reverse. We celebrate status quo. It's not nice in here, like it's a mega deal. That's why you can go home, nothing changes. Of course, with proper leadership, these things can be inspired. Now, why am I saying these things? All I touch things will begin to manifest positively. Before the nature can be into symptoms. I'm going to the root cause. Not going ever just borrow. Because people are saying menka. I always tell people, focus more on the character of the person, not the rugi. Who is he? Because I can get a consultant to write this. That's the question. And I'm sure I am alone. Lord will campaign for me in 2021 when some governorship election. Go on, I can I wish I had enough of this document. We're going to share it around. The title book, Anambra Chapel. What does that really mean? I'll read out the first page only, and I'll explain the rest. Anambra Chapel is a transformative framework designed to harness the cultural, the economic, the historical strengths of Anambra State, driving sustainable development and fostering continuous improvement across all spheres of society. It is a holistic approach that taps into the enduring spirit of the Igbo people, blending tradition and modern strategies to build a self-generative future. Anambra Chapel comes from a lot of dimensions: physiological, psychological, spiritual, physical dimensions, cultural, historical dimensions. Now, Anambra Puliche, Chineke were Yojike Anambra State. Igbo niile si Anambra, anyị nwapụ isi Igbo. That na etu ahụ si debe ndị Israel ka si debe anyị. Ọ bụrụ na ịghọta ihe a na-ekwu deeply, you will understand where I'm going to. And that, therefore, the strength innate in us is incredible that we can unleash. And rightly so, we're calling the light of the nation. But the light of the nation, meaning that now the rest of the black people, they depend on us until I get our acts together and what I buy in nature. Now Anambra Kogi Bido. Kayota Nkatayn on here today. Anambra Chapel is a realization of that fact. It's also a pointer to the fact that now, just like we have in Matthew 5:16, let your light still shine, so that people will see your good deeds and praise your Father who is in heaven. That now I want to truly the light of the nation. Go and consult further. You'll understand the point I'm making here today. So why is that light not shining? The answer is in Proverbs 29:2. When good people, righteous people, godly people are in power, the people rejoice. And when wicked people are in power, the people suffer. On our praise you. Ono malito arudi ono gwezo wale ilo ono gwezo ono malazia mandi nokita apunde ezigbo mmadụ. Na ihe nnebu I speak amam na elders not here man I will go nchikuzi nchefo na ndị elders maka I'm passionate about what I'm talking about. All my future cannot tolerate a bronco. So and what is sad is that we've actually all sinned and come short of glory. Stop the blame game. Actually, they're at fault. Because how do we even make decisions around political leadership? We to all vote in the past. How did you decide on them? On the marrow, this solution ajam madu na ochichi. You know method the unisigi marrow. I can't repeat what I just said now. You are part of the problem. And so, maybe a greater burden to make sure you get them out. Now, what I do? I'm saying this because we can be better than we are today. We can be by far better than we are today. Opuluna, I may have what this is saying, first, we're eager in the past, not just talking rhetorics, pointing to our history. We highlighted in this document all the things I may achieve in different spheres. Anambra Zikiwe. These are the people that inspired the rest of the Africa. If they go Maka, Nelson Mandela, they can afford Delo, na Zik inspired him. Okay, for this Anambra Pota. When him and Michael Okpara are in charge, Southeast was the fastest growing zone in the world. He went into the business world. I mean, you know this better than myself. Right from St. Louis Ojukwu, he built a stock exchange, back to Ndine Mezikita, Anambra, the highest concentration of extremely successful people in Nigeria from Anambra State. It's in Nekera Iche. He went into the literal world. We mentioned Chinua Achebe here. He went into even the religious world. Why is it that in the Catholic Church, the only saint in West Africa, born in Anambra State, 2 cardinals, Anambra State? Why are these things happening? Why, if you go into the entertainment and music and all of this, the same thing. Kedinye Melo, Arejidea Etua today. Kai Malo, the real issue here with those 3 things I've highlighted: political leadership, citizenship, not docility, active citizenship, and then also us looking at how we can improve our society, our life, through the culture of continuous improvement. If you bring them together, I guarantee you magic will start happening in our lifetime. And this is what I've studied carefully, inspired, we say, Anambra Gachawabu, Naha Jesus. It's also a governance framework. Anambra Chap is also a governance framework. Abroad, just rhetoric, Gambia as a public speaker, Gambia Suo Ibakwaka. Now, a very detailed way we can follow will change your knowledge. By the grace of God, I will do a brief introduction of myself, Makandina Afum for the first time. But in Achibunobo, some of them go in Tiegolo, I'm active duty as a young man. And for the magic occurs in my life. We're seeing that everyone here in the public space, particularly Anambra, the entire ecosystem derived. What I need in Anambra, Kolako, Moro. So also you follow political leadership. It inspires the citizenship. Anyway. Now, what do I mean by governance framework? As in now, the 3 ways we can approach governance and get it right. First way is sector approach. Basically identifying the critical sectors. Get sectors to their impact. Getting to our strength. Getting to solve the basics. And getting that policy to catch up with the rest of the world. If you identify these things, a mere proper diagnosis, Malo, nearby not today. Nearby Queselino. Nearby make the way if you follow through this, we will invent the real Anambra that we can be proud of. Not Dubai, Taiwan. Hindi Dubai, Taiwan, Anambra State. Malo the Iba boy, one guy shall succeed. That's the reverse. Not Iba to visionary morally foundation. Because that's what we have today. So, what are we going to do to discover ourselves? Not only in us. Here, I am a girl in the past. Go see now, I get memory again. How do we rekindle that light? Let that light shine, let it blossom. That's what Anambra Chap is about. And those sectors were identified. Upon kind of an email room study, we've gone around. When saw the election in 2021, I visited all the 21 local governments some 7 times, some 10 times. And even Jenna, I asked people, what truly do you want from your next governor? I listened to people. I listened to people. I took notes. And that informed the emphasis, the priorities we've given to a lot of things. And we only amaro the importance of education, healthcare. We only amaro those critical infrastructure, not power, roads, in fact, technology. We only amaro the economic areas. Can you meant to transform trade and commerce? Who can they buy around us? Reduce all this logistics nightmare and I got through. Or the line man. And guess what? This is also the feedback we got from Ndino on ground. What are we doing in this regard? We've identified all the things that are important. Education, for instance, triple strategy. One about affordability, another one about quality, another one about relevance. Can you hear me? Can you go to show now? Everybody in the school. Government is good enough. At least, let's even meet the UNESCO standard. 25% of our budget going into education because it is that important. And working well with the missionaries. I just showed that now. Abro, I got a school everywhere. Well, the principal name of Martina. How can we get trained more principals and raise the quality? We destroy what we already have. We've done well in this regard. We can do far better in this regard. How do we ensure that we get it right when it comes to affordability? What do we do to enhance the quality? Quality for both my infrastructure and the teaching. How do we make sure the teachers are well trained? How do you push them through what I call performance-driven environment? I like Human Institute, Best Teacher, Best School Award, and Worst Teacher and Worst School Award, and punish those who are doing worse, so that next time they wake up through performance-driven environment. When you bring this ecosystem properly, everybody shape will up. And relevance is about the curriculum. Can you hear me? Can you be relevant? Open actually the tech hub of the world. Let's go back to primary school and include those things kind of primary school, coding language, programming, all of those at tender age, so that before now my name, Mark Zuckerberg has been produced out of Anambra State. If I go to the healthcare, with the litany of Indian workers in our diaspora, the ideas are incredible. Some of them are retired and begging to come back and be part of governance. It's why I can go on and on and on in every single sector. We've identified those critical sectors. But you can't even achieve any of this in an unsafe environment. Insecurity is our number one issue. Insecurity is our number one issue. And guess what? We are paying lip service to this. I have only here or not here. Draw, make empires. Some of us back. One day, a former AIG of police in Anambra State visited me in my village in Ames. So, draw a simple question. AIG, can you see on governance about insecurity in 1 year? AIG has spent 3 months in Anambra State. He has never sat down with the governor one day. You see, what are you talking about? I will quote his name one day because he's very retired now, so he wouldn't mind to be quoted. So, even for governor, I'm not here to talk down on the governor. That's not what I'm here for. We are uncomfortable. From US and Co. They are not coming to Anambra. They are stopping in Abuja and Lagos. I am offended by this. Abuna Nkusia Biko Commissioner, Jekwa Governor now here back. If that will make you wake up, let it be. So, let's get into the governor. He even found, right into the governor, na Airpeace Airline. Ojepulia Siena, I'm only there to the effort to make to see you. Can go to I will issue. Only I'm more Malia today, I will issue. I have gone around Anambra State. I've got money to happen. Upon Doka, upon the Ahia, upon the Igwe, upon the PG. I even say it, even the commissioners are not happy. My kitchen meetings also for a book. A good child was 10 minutes. Can name a commercial book. On your question of carpenter. My point here, Bona, we need to hold ourselves and the governor duly accountable and discuss issues, not personality. Even the issues. So the whole idea of because Anambra bunke monono, Abram California, and the one I got chalo, Abrona, Omero of Fuma, we will tell him he's not coming back. How can we time? How can we 6 months to recover himself? Otherwise, Mbaga campaign, that Abromaka campaign. We will come back for campaign. His was it is my propaganda on here. It's about me holding the governor accountable. Beyond the issue of sector approach, and let me still touch on insecurity. People go me in many places. I've even done a video. I've done videos. I don't want people strictly on insecurity. We put ideas into Tegas. Ask them that now. Even in Anambra, impossible to solve. By the time you sit down with our AVMs not here. How am I here, man? I'm not joking. DIGs, I'm going to Anambra State. If only we can I have your other microphone? Okay, let's go on. On insecurity. There's a compass here. Issue everywhere. Taking issue everywhere. Anambra, the Korean was the worst in southern Nigeria, particularly southeast Nigeria. I sat down with Governor Alex Oti. And see, Governor, just sign on a beer. Na pankata, na comment there in the Anambra. Or was them there and they are done? It was open security. Me put on the same Val. You can't kidnap in Abuja State and go free. Negative. Also, when a man kidnap, also na manga free. Also na first instance, second instance. For the second instance, it was given to me. Also na the day before the demoniano, they mega arrest. The last person involved, including the kingpin on Lagos, has been arrested. Enjoy how? Because the key word here is how. He said how. I was saying that now. Simple solution. Identifying the right people, equipping them, empowering them, challenging them. Phone can't get you. We make a negotiation. They will trace you until they find you. By the time they find the first person, second person, those are also. How do you mean? I mean at the periphery. Nka banana be bold. Hana de kula. Man ga be ba na elichi na nibo. Wo hin na ebulu. Onworo fo nyem la arrest. You will drone, fuse drones, 4 drones. Imagine in Anambra State. What are you talking about? We can solve the problem if we're serious. So send an NSP. I have paid prices about this. My CSO has been kidnapped. Even me, there has been attempts. So that's why this matter, we have to solve it. Abuja no Korea solve, Ochanozo, Niga solve via Abata. The second
second thing, the way to achieve this governance, if we go to cluster approach is another approach, apart from sector approach. If we go to the sectors, I can spend another 1 hour telling you how to get my technology, my agriculture, my healthcare, my carabose sector approach. Let's go to the cluster approach. Can you mean by cluster approach? And beyond the issue of sector, when we're starting clusters, you have to place emphasis on. On will ever be impact. Everything that you on where you get paid good attention particularly. We want to know the importance of Onitsha as a commercial hub. Now you say Onitsha, you affect positively the lives of Ndi Anambra, Ndi Igbo, Ndi non Onitsha, Abros also Ndi Onitsha. So you touch every line. How do we make Onitsha to be a true commercial hub? Abros also Menka. How do we really fix Onitsha? And when a proper program, in order with the leaders of Onitsha, in order with Abogi, in order with Bishop, in order the key stakeholders, how can Onitsha be a true commercial hub? Can you have to bring law and order? Because I'm not sure decency, law and order, the impact, a place like that. How do we make Nnewi a true industrial hub? What do we do now, Nnewi? You can draw this industrialist. Can you know Choki? I can get in another toward the allo, a design Nnewi. Or how do we make it a true capital city? I was also saying about Governor Ghana. Bro, can you have a true capital city? Anambra axis can be a hub for processing agriculture. All the Southern rivers, all the Southern airports, Erika, that axis, there's a security. Anambra, the resources that is the Anambra state. Today, I make a summit in Anambra, don't not there. Erika, if we imbibe, and every single one of these, create independent bodies that will be driving this. Only more of a Troya. Only more from a commander. About that in the last approach, which is the partnership approach. Approach preach Akulono. Odimba Akulono. Mana Akulono game of man to attract more. Maka Ijanet no in Adobanya, Nozo, Apawaloso. Money goes to where money is comfortable. You don't legislate it. I don't force your money. Naibel kita Jena Anambra, make more money, make more money than only in Lagos, Abuja. It was Igwandi, no Lagos, and Abuja, now Anambra State. Can you make Anambra more competitive? We have seen it that now there's not so much the government can do by themselves, but there's so much they can do to create an enabling environment that can then bring in the private sector, the acumen, the resources, the drive, the greed. Play on their greed, so that let them make more money. When you do that, and I'm speaking as a CEO of 2 PLCs, I'm not speaking like a consultant, I have managed 2 PLCs, so I know what I'm talking about. I have gone to countries to build businesses, and when I go to those places, I know what I'm asking the government to do for me. So I am telling you, not just inspired, but I'm experienced in that regard. Now, if you deal with this issue of partnership, cluster and sector, that gives you the basis. We can make Anambra such that not only God will be proud, but in the Anambra will be proud. Now have Jesus. I will end what I'm saying by now quickly introducing myself. Message introduction because the governor won't any right of reply in this conversation. The incoming governor by the grace of God, Anambra Valentine Ozigbo, but I was born in Umuomako,
in Orumba South, local government. We bidozie Akoko, Nubuntijebe, a boundary between Akko and Ajale, and the Messia Nata Mesi, Gutopo, my primary school, my secondary school, now Mesi. So I grew up totally in the village, Amolom, Zom, Nime village. And I'm using the word was here because Bahai was 7, Manakita is 6. More of the last of 7 children. And by the grace of God, my father retired as a headmaster, as a catechist. And I will say this, that because of the discipline and Mbotaleba at a tender age, because I was that last born, not to be called a last born. So you need America, you can get Chukota the rest of the world. Or brother can never get Chukota. I mean, the Anambra get meant to Chukota the rest of the world. I don't compare Anambra to any state in Nigeria. I suppose they got beyond that. So this is what inspired me, Ibudi Bambo. And grace of God, Kanji Lovenno, because I will tell you this, that Mbambo Belumbo, you will see God's grace in abundance. That has been my story. And I'm saying this not as a politician. Chukwu has been incredibly good to me. And that's why that I will serve God and engage Anambra by the grace of God. So I did well. I did well by the grace of God across all levels. Primary school, I was one of the best students. Secondary school, in fact, Ozigbo Ozigbo was my principal, Father Anyora. I was the only student he called back to teach after my secondary school graduation. And I taught physics and maths at that age. Banye, University of Nigeria, where I studied accounting, my first degree, and I made the best result both in the department and in the faculty. And I qualified as a chartered accountant and became a fellow of the institute and about 4 other bodies. I had my MBA in banking and finance at the same University of Nigeria. Eventually gained Chibney Scholarship, went to England for my second master's, and I made distinction in MSc Finance at Lancaster University. I was also in 3 universities for a global CEO program, one in New York, ESA campus, another one, Lagos Business School, another one in Nairobi. And I was elected the president of the class, Genkabo, Lord today. I served for about 17 and a half, almost 18 years in banking industry. And again, you will see that grace of God manifest. Because within 6 months, I was voted the best staff of Diamond Bank in Nigeria. Within 5 years, I had risen to a branch manager. Within 7 years, I had risen to a regional manager. I left banking as a GM when I was headhunted to be the first CEO of Transcorp Hotels PLC after the acquisition by Transcorp. Apollo and I went to Transcorp Hilton before Mpata. Malo called it Bempolo. You will, it's like I gave a poor result. I was twice honored as best CEO in the world in Greece and in Spain. Before I finally became the president of the group, which covered the entire businesses of Transcorp, from power, oil and gas, agribusiness, and hospitality. And in there, when I turned 50 and I decided to retire, I did the Anambra State.
So I rap from all because the car will go. I rap from because I'm not of fame or money. I rap from because my was in yours on game. I went into politics because I said now this status quo must change. We must get a new dawn in place. And that's why I'm well inspired. And that's why I play what I call purposeful politics, not transactional politics. Purposeful, now my buying age. That's why, even as candidate of PDP in 2021 election, one night, okay, go Peter Obi, Pota is our presidency. I abandoned PDP and joined him in the Labour Party. Ono mazin Bible there. And when I about him go, ono my here, Mr. Governor is in the. So if you want to reward him for that impunity, go ahead. When I hear of none, I have to quit. So the point I'm making here, Epo Maka Akukwa Golo and I am a creative person. By the grace of God, abroad to post, I am a creative person. I have covered many industries that I haven't mentioned here. Let's talk about creativity. In 2017, I watch video on my phone. Ndị na-eme freestyle football. Freestyle football. Game freestyle football. No game up here. Half of the member. I'm already football juggling. Equal football now weekend. In our feature more magic. And let's say now this is beautiful. This is actually better than most of what we are celebrating. Okay, my Nollywood, my music, my real football, if you understand what I'm talking about. Let me use this to touch lives. 2017, I'm going to hear about someone in politics then. I registered a company called Fit and Tricks, and I got the likes of Canon Wanko and Co to be on the board. That same year, I organized the very first ever Nigerian championship and invited the world body to be part of it. Habata. But in the first year, which is such company, we broke 3 world records. We had the most female participation, we had the most prize money. In fact, we gave a brand new car to the champion. Or they had surprise, because I also leveraged my contacts. And when I see him there, I say, why stop at Nigeria? Why don't you expand it to the rest of Africa? So the next year, 2018, we organized the first ever African championship. To cut a long story short, just this year and on year, we've done 2 championships. First is the Nigerian Championship, I'm on Balmoral in Lagos. And then the African Championship, I'm on Algeria, just a few weeks ago. The person winning, only Nigeria, Evelyn Okafor, mainly Nigerian champion, no more. Ojemeng Africa, both African champion. Today, as we speak, she's competing in a world championship in Italy. Only Anambra, both the current Nigerian champion, only Nobi, blessed is Zakabudu. So, what am I saying to you? I picked something from nothing that never existed. I can't make a chair now because no. I'm just telling you what we can do with Anambra State. The just knowledge, creativity, technology. I have tried as much as possible as a private citizen to empower a lot of people in tech. I partner with Decagum, train people in software engineering. Anambra, buy kita, along with global companies earning foreign currency. Why am I saying this? There's a lot we can do. Let's go back to Proverbs 29:2. When a good man is in power, the people rejoice. In the Anambra, this is your time to rejoice. God bless you.
West Roman. Okay. Now, you can. No, is carried away. No,